Hello there, good evening and welcome to Political Lens. I am Chukwuma Okoro. Good to have you join us. On the show today, why the North chose Obi, NDC, ADC will end up working together in 2027. That's coming from Rabiu Kokwanso. February's 2027 Guba fate unknown. Now let's bring in our guests. We've been joined in the studio here in Lagos where we are broadcasting from by Mr. Nzako Atoloma. Mr. Atoloma is a barrister at law and member of the Chartered Institute of Arbitrators of Nigeria, but is here in the capacity of a political affairs analyst. Good evening, Mr. Atoloma, and thanks for joining us on Political Lens. Good to have you, sir.
Good evening, Chooks.
Thank you very much.
I'm happy to be here.
Thank you. Now, let's quickly run into it. Rabiu Musa Kokwanso said that northern political leaders settled for P2B as the preferred figure for a new opposition coalition ahead of the 2027 presidential election after consultations across the north. According to him, Obi emerged as the most capable candidate, leading to a cooperation between the Kokwansia movement and the Obedient movement under a joint platform called the OK Alliance. Kokwanso explained that the name came from the supporters of both camps using OK and KO slogans before eventually uniting behind a common political goal. Kokwanso also revealed that the alliance first explored working through the African Democratic Congress, ADC, before moving to the Nigeria Democratic Congress, NDC, to build a broader opposition platform. He dismissed fears of conflict between supporters of both groups, describing them as disciplined and united, both within Nigeria and in the diaspora. The former governor added that the coalition aims to strengthen opposition coordination and present a stronger front for the 2027 general elections. Now, how does this endorsement come to you? Is Kokwanso speaking on enlightened selfish interest, or is he speaking the mind of the North? I mean, when he says, well, this is the reason why the North chose Obi, more like, well, the North has practically endorsed Peter Obi, the North, maybe the political leaders of the North and all of that. But we also know that, well, it might be coming from some sort of, it's because I'm involved and this is why I'm saying this. What do you see in all of this?
Well, thanks, Chooks. My first take is really no one speaks for anyone else. So when you hear Kwankwaso say the North, he means, of course, a particular segment of the elite in the North. Definitely not a consensus, because among the Northern elite, you also find a whole lot of them supporting Tinubu,
okay,
right? And you will also find a decent number of them who might be willing to throw in the hat on behalf of Atiku. Okay. So when a hierarch like Kwankwaso says the North, or our leaders in the North, that is subjective. That said, of course, it is a watershed. It is a watershed event in our nation's political life that the leaders of the North, be they one, be they two, be they three, be they four only, have decided finally to adopt a southern candidate. Okay. Not just a southern candidate, but a candidate of Igbo extraction. So that is profound in every way. That is profound, and we must not forget that. So Kwankwaso, don't forget that only 4 years ago, Kwankwaso was of the view that there was not a chance that he was going to deputize for Obi,
okay,
that he was going to be merely a running mate to Obi, that he was going to headline any ticket that featured himself and Obi. Now, to have this development where he has accepted to be the number 2 on the ticket with Obi is something that calls for celebration.
Okay. All right. I was coming to that, him now accepting to be running mate to Peter Obi, because in the past 4 years, he said something contrary to this. But before we get to that, I would like to ask you, you know that in Nigeria, we have voting patterns. You know, like, let me start from the Southeast, where you and I come from. The Southeast, we are always known to be Republican, you know, autochthonous groups that we are more like headless, and everybody is his own man. And so people say when a community leader says, well, this is the person we should vote for, you know, you see a certain young man that says, why should I vote for him? That is the way it is in the Southeast. Now, and if you come to the Southwest, there is a mixture of republicanism and some kind of, oligarchy that, you know, the Oba has said, you know, the Council of Obas have said, and this is the way it is. And you know that, to be very clear, they are very supportive of one another, each other. But if you go to the North, when an emir stands up and probably an alpha in the mosque gets up and says, well, this is the direction we'll go, we always see them move more like, in a very modest term, more like a mass, like a head, you know, head into a particular place. So if you say that, well, Kwakwanso might not be speaking for the generality of the North, there might be splinters of, you know, dissenting voices here and there. But the general opinion, according to Kwakwanso and a few other people, is that, well, it should be go to the Igbo South, like you have mentioned, and Obi is the person. Now, we hear a couple of northern elements say we are not in agreement with this, including Atiku Abubakar. So how much of these dissenting voices, you know, could work against the ticket in 2027, if you understand their voting pattern?
Thanks, Chooks. Now, let me start by offering a very respectful correction to you. The Igbo are Republican by nature, but they're not headless.
No, I didn't.
Yes. Okay, so what they don't do among the Igbo is command performance. They don't do command performance, but they can be united around causes, common causes. For example, people can be united by hunger. People can be united by oppression. People can be united by insecurity. And it appears more than ever before that a large segment of Nigerians are united by inflation, united by economic dysfunction, united by pervasive insecurity. Insecurity. I beg your pardon to repeat that. Okay, so, and particularly with the Igbo segment of this country, the Southeast and parts of the South, they are united. They don't need command performance. They are united by the fact that what has seemed hitherto like a nation and a system that excluded them, that marginalized them, that placed them merely at the fringes of the scheme of things, is about to change its mind about. We don't know whether that mind will be changed actually, but about to change its mind. That is what will unite the people. Okay? So as to sentiments in other places, there will always be sentiments. There would always be sentiments. We do not delude ourselves thinking there will be consensus at any point in time. There can never be consensus. What matters is that let the field be open, let it be competitive, let the best man win. Okay? And let the best man win freely and fairly.
Okay, all right. Before we move on, I'd like to, when I said that the Igbo group was headless, I didn't mean it probably in a negative manner. What I just meant is that, like, that lack of that command structure that you alluded to. And so in the Southeast now, let's even talk about it. In the Southeast, do you think that, who is the political leader of the Southeast? You could point out to one in the Southwest. You could point out to one in the North. In the Southeast, who is the political leader of the Southeast? Practically, I mean, I've done a mental note of it. I can't find anybody. Was even Zeke? Was he more like a political head of the Igbo nation? It was lacking because a lot of people, even from the Southeast, disagree with him.
If you would permit me, I would amend your question by including in it who is the political leader of the North. There is none.
Well, article says, well,
right now,
I'm the most popular political leader in the North.
He is not.
Buhari at some point claimed to having 12 million votes. That never worked for him anyway. So you could identify figures, you know, in some areas. If you come to the Southwest, you could talk about Ebola Ahmed Tinubu. And so in the Southeast, who is the political leader of the Southeast?
You did not have that.
Okay. So that was what I meant when I said
question.
That was what I meant when I said more like headless.
Headless. Okay. Without question,
Okay.
Peter Obi is the most successful politician of Igbo extraction.
Is he the political leader of the Southeast?
We're not talking. Political leaders are not elected or appointed or voted in somewhat formally.
Okay.
Is a matter of fact.
Okay, somebody who is more like a rallying point.
Yeah, it's a rallying point. Peter Obi, without question, without cover, is the most successful politician from the Southeast alive.
Okay, so you think Peter Obi is the political leader of the Southeast?
Yes.
Okay, and his governor doesn't want him to be president. You see one young man jump up and say, well, this rascality about Peter Obi saying that he wants to be the president. I mean, we are not with him and all of that. How much of that leadership does he command?
You don't need to command leadership.
Okay.
Because command begins to anticipate or presuppose formal structures.
Okay.
And structures of power. This is a matter of influence. Peter Obi has said, I don't give shishi, in his words.
Okay.
And multitudes of the people, enlightened in their own self-interest, have followed him without demanding or receiving shishi.
Okay.
So it's about the influence that you wield.
Okay, the influence that he wields. So
yes.
We'll take it that Peter Obi is the political leader of the Southeast at the moment, according to Barrister Isaac Atulom.
If I may, I can accept that.
Okay.
You're quoting me that.
Okay,
that's fine. You
directly.
But I need to
amend it.
Offer some context.
Okay.
Okay. So it might be a disservice to the political realities on the ground to describe Peter Obi as the political leader of the Southeast. He is not the political leader of the Southeast in the sense of an exclusionary regional provincial arrangement. No.
Okay. Okay.
He is, as I said, the most successful politician of the Southeast extraction alive.
Okay.
Okay? That is not to say that he is the leader of some regional hegemony
and all of that. Okay.
He's a national leader.
He's a nationalist.
Yes.
Of Igbo extraction.
But he happens to come
from the Southeast.
From
the Igbo side.
And that places him in position as the most successful politician alive.
Okay. And by extension, the
political
leader of the Southeast.
Forget the governor of the state he hails from.
Okay.
It's a matter of sour oranges. You know, it's always there.
We'll talk about what the governors of the Southeast are doing in trying to mobilize for him or for the president. Yeah. Now, as we are talking about Peter Obi now, how much of that feat in 2023 can be reenacted in 2027? We hear that he has lost a lot of followership based on how he dumped the Labour Party, moved again and again from ADC to the NDC. What do you know about this? I know you are not an obedient, or are you one? And so that intact, that tact movement, that he had in 2023, with the recent developments, do you think that combining with Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, that they are able to reenact that feat in 2027? What do you see coming?
That's a question that you raised and put it aside. I would like to start with that. Okay. Are you an obedient?
Yes.
Now, I do not, for policy and practice, like to associate myself with tags.
Okay.
But ask me, would you vote for Peter Obi? And the answer is a big yes.
Okay.
Did you vote him in 2023? Yes. Would you vote him again? Yes. But whether I'm an operative, like an obedient, I may not be able to have a very big yes for you.
Okay.
Okay. So back to the other question. Would you be able to?
Will he be able to?
Will they be
reenact,
able to
the 2023
reenact 2023?
Even now that he has merged with Kwankwaso.
Granted, the obedience movement has lost some steam. That is natural.
Okay.
After every election season, the losers of that election, for good or bad reason, lose some steam. Some members of some of the fan base will be disillusioned. Some could move on. some could join the ruling party and all of that. That did happen to the obedient movement. Not least with the tragedy and travesty we saw in the National Assembly, where a whole lot of persons who ran on the obedient wave to elective of office got into the National Assembly and switched sides. That was a shame.
Okay. So now that said, how much of, I mean, there are so many talking points. How much of Obi's influence will take people into elective positions in 2027? I mean, you just described what happened in 2023, where people got crested to power on the platform of, Obi's wave, got into House of Assembly, got into National Assembly, that's House of Representatives and all of that. And in just a matter of 2-3 years, we have more than 80% of those people, dump the party, dump Peter Obi, and, find their levels and all of that. So now Nigerians are saying, oh, okay, so you want to come to NDC because Obi and Kwakwanso are there. Well, what do you see coming? Do you think that wave of, okay, getting into National Assembly, let me just queue behind Obi, is it going to happen again?
Well, they say you don't step into the same river twice. Because once you stepped into it and it moves, that's on the same river, okay. That's on the same waters you're stepping in.
Okay.
The waters passed. Okay? Michael Okpara, of the most blessed memory, he used to quip then, first fool, not be fool.
The second
fool. Now proper foolish. Okay? So we might have been fooled. A whole number of people might have been fooled by a whole lot of nameless, faceless, amorphous persons and entities riding the obedient wave. Free riding, essentially, free loading on the obedient wave into political office. I doubt whether that would happen anymore. I seriously doubt whether anybody will be able to ride the obedient wave into political office simply by associating with Peter Obi. We need to interrogate your own ideas. We need to interrogate your own faithfulness, your own political doctrines, and your history before we vote for you. You are not Peter Obi, are you? That will be the question.
Okay, so apparently, what it means is that Obi might actually. What I mean is that, okay, so how much of that will affect Obi's electoral fortune?
No.
Okay, is it going to be on a standalone? We'll vote for Peter Obi, and then we'll consider you based on your merit as an individual. Is that what will happen?
Peter Obi will know who are thou. That will be the question. Peter Obi.
Why I ask this question is that in that 2023,
yes,
a lot of people didn't know who the candidates were, and so they were voting Labour, because of Peter Obi.
They will not do that anymore.
So you think it will not happen this time?
It will not happen this time around. No, okay. It will not happen this time around. We've been once bitten.
Okay.
We must be twice shy.
Now, I'm happy that we are discussing this. Now, the electorate, how much educated are they? Are you using yourself, a lawyer, as a unit of analysis? Have you spoken to some other people and they say, well, what happened in 2023 is not going to happen again. We'll vote for Peter Obi and now consider any other candidate on the NDC on merit.
Yes.
So I'm asking, how much voter education do we have? Or how much educated do our Nigerian voters? And now, are you using yourself as you're a lawyer, I mean, senior lawyer for that matter. So do you think that people are going to think the same way as you do? Or have you sampled opinion across board, probably in discussions with fellow lawyers, with politicians, and all of that?
If I were to be discussing with fellow legal practitioners or other professionals, that would be the same thing. That would beg the question.
How have you sampled opinion across board?
What we're hearing from mixing around, all of that, people are indeed irate that the people that they voted in. Take the example of the man, what's his name? From Edo State.
Okay.
Senator, who was elected, who rode the Obi wave into the Senate, only to become the arrowhead of the APC against the very well loved, very well beloved lady senator, Natasha. Do you remember?
Yeah, Natasha.
Yes. So people were not heartened by his role in that
incident. Okay.
Yes. And I do not think people are going to repeat that mistake. It was a mistake.
It was a mistake.
It was a mistake. It was a mistake to elect all manner of nameless, faceless, and shameless, I dare say, folks.
Okay,
together with Obi. Nobody is tagging along with Obi
this time around.
Yes.
Okay, everyone is on his own.
Yes.
You attend to all his
yes.
work. Now let's move on. Atiku Abubakar, you know.
I personally, if you don't mind, I personally am prepared to vote president and return the other ballot empty.
Okay.
No, I'm not voting for.
That's if you don't know the pedigree of the candidate, or
the candidate must prove themselves to me.
Okay, before you vote.
Before I vote for them.
Okay. All right. Now let's move on. Atiku Abubakar has criticized the zoning of the NDC ticket, you know, to South, arguing that it will be difficult for Southern candidates to remove a Southern president. Now, how do you react to Atiku's position? I mean, he's angry that, well, the NDC has decided to zone its ticket to the South. And when I discussed it with someone, he said that does it look like Atiku is a meddlesome interloper or what? I mean, is he a member of the ADC? Why is he concerned about where ADC takes their tickets to? So how do you react to this comment, Atiku's position?
Well, in 2023, Atiku Abubakar was opposed to the PDP, you know, zoning the presidency to the South also. Don't forget.
Was he?
That was the genesis of his crisis with the minister of the FCT.
We heard differently. But land on your thoughts.
Okay, so that we are trying to succeed a northern president. Justice and common sense dictates that should go to the South. And the PDP should zone this to the South. And he stood in the way. That was partly, if I may amend, the genesis of his crisis. The crisis between him and the minister of the FCT, which has festered.
Okay. Now,
so Atiku Abubakar is a veteran. He has run almost every election cycle. I sincerely think the time has arrived for him to take a second look at his decisions. He has to look in the mirror. Am I now more of a spoiler? Or am I really a contender or a pretender? What is unfair or unjust zoning the presidency to the South?
No, because he says that a Southern candidate cannot remove a Southern president.
Why? Not
according to him. So you don't agree with him?
That's a self-serving assessment, if I may say so. I do not agree with it. It does not hold, it does not hold up against reason and common sense.
Okay, now, part of Atiku's argument, and a lot of people have argued or reasoned alike, is that, well, if you have a Southerner, and meanwhile, Jonathan we hear that he's going to throw his hat into the ring, to contest for the presidency on the platform of the PDP. Rumors are here and there, but it's not been confirmed. And unfortunately, Jonathan himself has not come out to say, I'm running or I'm not running. He says he's consulting, and no one knows how long that consultation will hold. So he's in there, and so you have probably an Obi in NDC, Tinubu in APC, and Jonathan in PDP. And three of them divide their votes. And you see an Atiku Abubakar probably claim the ticket of the ADC from the north, and they go into the contest. What do you think will happen?
First, let me start with the former president.
Okay.
Throwing his hat in the ring. That would be the most embarrassing, most dastardly decision anybody can make. I would call upon him to put out a statement without,
do you think
without
that Nigerian,
further delay.
Do you think that Nigerian politicians ever feel embarrassed?
Dissociating from that sort of travesty that we read, that he is as much as giving a thought to running. No, it is not necessary.
Legally speaking or morally?
Morally.
Okay.
He's got no business, no further business. He has been celebrated as a statesman. He should remain so. Why is he, why should he permit us to hear that he is consulting to get back into the running, just to spoil things?
Exactly the point. Spoil things for who? That's the question. The conspiracy theorists, spoil things for who? Is he playing the president's card? Or is he playing the South-South card? Is he playing Wike's card or what? That's the question. That's the big question Nigerians are asking. If he steps into the fray now, to what end? I like the fact that you mentioned that word, spoiler role. So who does he want to spoil things for? Is it for NDC? Or is he playing the president's script?
Nobody is spoiling anything for the president.
No, I mean, is he playing the president's script?
Nobody is spoiling. I'm not going to take that question from the point of view of playing the script.
Okay.
Because I don't know.
Okay. You know.
Okay.
But you know he could be playing a spoiler role. You use the word spoiler.
What I know.
Okay.
I do not know who is playing the script for whom.
Okay.
But what I know is who may be spoiling what for whom.
Okay. Can you let us into all of that?
Now, I do not know who is playing what script for whom, including the president, but I know for whom things may be spoiled, and that is Peter Obi.
Peter Obi, okay.
Anybody trying to spoil anything is not trying to spoil it for the president.
No, I actually,
the president will be just fine. The president is fine.
Okay, so if that person is trying to spoil for Peter Obi and the president is fine, probably the person is playing the president's script.
By the president is fine.
Impliedly.
No. I do not imply so.
Okay.
By the president is fine. I mean that we all have been told that he's the master strategist.
Right? Do you agree with that?
Why not?
Okay.
He's a strategist.
Okay.
Okay. So if he's a strategist, a master at that, as we've been told, and as we have seen,
as you agree,
as we have seen, he should be fine to. Okay. Let's face it.
And so you don't think that his strategy could be to use Jonathan to spoil somebody's.
Let's face it. This president.
No, you don't think. Don't think that as a master strategist, which you have acclaimed that he is, you don't think that he could be using Jonathan to spoil somebody's chances. I
doubt whether a former president
could be used.
Could be used in that context, in that manner.
Okay.
That will be the greatest shame of all.
Okay.
If a former president, someone who your predecessor bet won, that's how it is described.
Okay.
Jonathan is not just Tinubu's predecessor in office. Predecessor bet one.
Okay.
Tinubu's predecessor bet Buhari.
Okay.
So at that level, at that ranking,
he shouldn't
do houseboy.
Okay, all right. I'd like for us to. We'll see how much of this, or how all of these things pan out in the coming days. Yes. I'd like for us to segue into a similar conversation, still talking about ADC, NDC, because the former governor of Kano State, Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, has dismissed claims that his exit from ADC created a damaging split in the opposition ahead of the 2027 elections. Speaking on a national TV, Kwankwaso said he and Peter Obi left the party due to unresolved internal issues, not because of any conflict with Atiku Abubakar, adding that they could still work together before the elections, that 2027 election. Kwankwaso also downplayed Atiku's recent comments questioning his political strength outside Kano, insisting politics should not be personal. He recalled working closely with Atiku Abubakar during the 2019 presidential election as his northern coordinator and urged critics to wait until the election before predicting a split in Kano vote. Well, responding to Atiku's position and the division in the opposition, Kwakwanso said Obi and himself didn't leave because of Atiku, but on political necessity. Do you think that Kwakwanso is being truthful?
I am not a judge of truth.
Okay.
Because I can only judge truth if I get into fact finding, and I have not found any facts. So I cannot speculate around that, because that would be to speculate around the character of a person.
Okay, so why do you think that Peter Obi and Kwakwanso left the ADC?
My brother.
I mean, as an analyst, what do you see? What do you know?
You leave when the thing, you jump ship when the ship is about to sink. You jump.
Okay, so because Atiku was about to claim the ticket, the presidential ticket, and leave him and Obi high and dry, do you think that was the reason?
As we have seen, Peter Obi has maintained for like 2 years now, I will be on the ballot in 2027.
Okay.
Forget about all the shenanigans, all the shibboleth, all of that. I will be on the ballot. How? When the ADC came, we thought, the opposition figures were finally coalescing into something formidable, something that the ruling party should rightly fear, right? But then we saw things, fall apart. And then, apart from that, Peter Obi saw that there was no guarantee. Guarantee could be too high a word to use. There was not even a fair chance that he was going to be on the ballot, as he has consistently promised us.
Okay.
So the commonsensical next step was to move to a platform that gave him that.
Okay, so do you think that is because he felt that at some point that Atiku would claim the ticket? Or because of the legal issues, the unresolved problems in the ADC? Which one of these do you think was the reason why they left?
It could be either or both.
Okay.
And I should think both.
Okay, both.
Because even if the ADC were cleared of all the legal issues, they still had
an article to contend.
Bigger issues to deal with. Okay. Who will be on the ballot?
Okay, so apparently, now Kwakwanso is saying that we didn't leave because of Atiku Abubakar, but a lot of Nigerians, including you, understand that probably that is why they left. Now, in all of that, Kwakwanso has mooted the possibility of ADC and NDC working together in 2027. How will this happen if both parties are on the ballot? I want you to factor in the Ibadan Declaration, where they said we will present one opposition candidate.
Don't forget, the last time I came here, I predicted, I described the ADC then as an agglomeration of strange bedfellows.
Yes, you did, I recall.
Okay? And I said that more or less they represented a Baptist bootlegger coalition. And that is coming to pass. Now, you see things begin to fall apart, right? And I said also there is the sensible combination and the justice combination, and that whether you want sensible or justice, that Peter Obi and Kwankwaso would feature on that, and that is what we have now. The opposition movement, if they know what is good for the country, must set aside ambition, must set aside narrow interests and work together to stand a chance against a formidable, wily, powerful ruling party.
I like that. I like where you brought us to now. So if we have Bola Ahmed Tinubu on the ballot for APC, and you have probably Obi, Kwakwanso, Atiku in one party, what will happen? What if scenario?
Obi
Kwakwan, so Atiku in one party working together against the incumbent, what will happen?
Yes. That is more like it.
That's more like it.
That's more like it.
Okay.
Now, a friend of mine confided in me that he's an APC person.
Okay.
He said in the APC situation room, not the election situation, not election day situation room, but in their plan, they were holding their breath. I hope Peter Obi and Atiku will not come together. I hope they will not come together. Because if they did, then Bola Tinubu will be in trouble.
Okay.
He'll be in a tailspin.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
That's what they hoped. And then when they finally diverged and bifurcated and ran separate campaigns, they were like, yeah, that is it. Eureka.
That is it. Good. Now, I'm happy that you brought us to this point again. So they go their separate ways. Obi on a ballot separately, Atiku on a ballot separately, and Bola Tinubu on a ballot separately. What do you think will happen?
2023 would handily.
Okay, now at that point, the current president scored more like 8.9 million votes or thereabout.
Yes.
Atiku 6.9, Peter will be 6.1. And so you think that if we have a three-horse race, that the president will still have the day, meaning that his 8.9 million votes are still intact, despite the economic decline.
Those votes...
Despite the insecurity, despite the even economic development in the country, are they still intact for him?
No one's votes are intact. Okay. No one's votes are pledged.
Okay,
Those are
so
not pledged votes.
Why do people think that if it's a three-horse race, that the president will still win?
Yes. Don't forget that the president is likely to do better in the Southeast this time around than 2020.
Because?
Yes.
Why? Why do you think
he has a whole lot more people working for him.
In 2023, all the governors of the Southeast worked against Peter Obi. Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi was a member of G5. Okezie, our governor, was a member of G5.
Yes.
Who again, in Anambra State, I mean, they were not for Peter Obi. In Ebonyi State, Dave Umahi, sitting governor, APC member.
Anambra was a lost case.
And Imo State. So practically 5 of them worked against Peter Obi. Yeah. And so what happened? And so nothing has changed, or what has changed between then and now?
They are more determined now.
They are more
determined, and they have invested more.
They have invested.
Yes. Okay. And when you invest, see, that informs my opinion when the City Boy movement was launched and targeted in the Southeast. People were like, why does it have to be in the Southeast? I said, well, no. Political campaigns invest resources where they lack advantage.
Okay.
That's where they invest resources.
Okay.
Go to the US. There are some states in which the Republicans don't campaign at all.
Okay, the red states, because they take them for granted.
This is us. The votes are for us.
All right, we are running out of time. So I want us to go to Rivers State, where the State APC House of Assembly Screening Committee reportedly cleared 33 out of 98 aspirants for the 2027 Assembly primaries, including 28 lawmakers loyal to FCT Minister Nyesom Wike. Meanwhile, all 32 aspirants linked to Governor Sim Fubara, including former factional speaker Victor Oko-Jumbo, were reportedly disqualified. The committee cited issues such as invalid documents, unpaid party dues, conflicting records, and attempted bribery. The committee also alleged that the aspirant Tom George tried to bribe the members during the screening, with Victor Oko-Jumbo allegedly causing a disturbance at the venue over security access. However, the committee secretary, Tanko Yamowa, later disowned the circulated report, describing it as fake and unauthorized, insisting no official list had yet been released by the party. While several affected aspirants rejected the outcome, claiming the process lacked transparency, Tom George denied the bribery allegation and demanded proof, while disqualified aspirants such as Gogo Ogute Azaya said they were never officially informed of specific reasons for their disqualification. Critics also questioned why aspirants loyal to Wike were overwhelmingly cleared, while pro-Fubara hopefuls were excluded. We are back to Rivers political crisis. Wike and Fubara, who last between the two? Briefly, we are running out of time. What do you see in Rivers State?
As to the screening results,
okay,
I would like to defer to the official statement by the secretary of that committee that says no reports have been authorized?
No, they have been. No, that's the official statement.
Okay.
The inside sources tell us what happened.
Good. So I wasn't there when your sources.
No, I'm telling you now.
Now, if it were true that all the aspirants loyal or affiliated to the minister of the FCT were cleared, and all the aspirants loyal to or affiliated with the governor, Fubara, were disqualified, that would have been amusing, totally amusing, if not that it is, a tragedy. Okay. So you ask yourself, what on earth, or why on earth would all pro Fubara aspirants fail?
When you talk about
all of them,
when you say it's amusing, would that be the first thing that has amused you in Nigeria or in River State?
No, it would have been amusing if it were not so tragic. It's not amusing.
Okay.
But for its tragedy, it would have been amusing.
Okay.
Yes.
So apparently, you think that that the more like trying to overreach themselves and is more brazen. If you see these people accepted and all of these other people rejected.
It's more brazen. Back in the day, we used to see, okay, let's say there are 40 seats, right? Someone could take 30, which is overwhelming majority, right? And then leave the other 10. Let it not look like to create a semblance of balance.
That was when Nigeria.
But nowadays, they don't care.
In those days, now they don't care. That is the issue. So, are you surprised that this could happen in River State?
I'm not surprised.
You're not surprised.
No, I'm not surprised.
We hear that.
The minister of the FCT threatened on national TV that he will strip a senior advocate of Nigeria of his rank.
Okay. And nothing happened.
No, nothing has happened. And that he would revoke the title documents of any property that lets
the ADC convention.
That ADC PDP.
Okay.
That lets their property to a faction of the PDP to run the headquarters from. That he would revoke that.
Unfortunately, we are out of time. Like I said, there are so many talking points. Maybe we'll have to continue this another day. But before we leave, do you hear? There is information that Sim Fubara might just migrate to the NDC. Do you think it's possible?
You see, one thing I believe people must know is you must know when to stop.
Okay.
You must know when to stop, right? Emeka Ihedioha was removed by the Supreme Court from him, from the governorship of Imo State. He hasn't died. The heavens haven't, crashed in on him. He has moved on. I don't think Sim Fubara will be re-elected.
Okay, you don't think he
will be re-elected? I do not think. No.
No matter what he tries.
I do not think he will.
Because of what? Because of the president, or because of Wike, or because of Rivers people?
Rivers people. I do not think it was the Rivers people that filed that 2023 election result that was mutilated, cancelled, and was still accepted.
Okay.
And reckoned with.
Up until this moment.
Yes, up until this moment. Okay, so I don't think it was the Rivers people that.
We're out of time. 30 seconds. Your concluding thoughts.
Well, ours is a nation in flux. We've got to put our hands on the wheel and not let up. Thanks.
And this is where we have to end this conversation. It's been very interesting, very insightful, I must say. And I hope we can do this some other time. Thank you very much.
I'll be glad to return.
We've been speaking with Mr. Nzeako Atuloma, barrister at law, who is a member of the Chartered Institute of Arbitrators of Nigeria. But he appeared here in the capacity of a political affairs analyst. Thank you very much. I appreciate your presence.
Thank you.
Now, on behalf of the backroom staff, I am Chukwuma Okoro. Up next is Issues with Nana Andimdoto. Bye for now, and enjoy the rest of your evening.